This is a long time coming. This video has been in the talks for over a year now and maybe closing in on 2 years. But I got time and I'm going to go ahead and do this video right now while I have the time. Hooters, my thoughts. For those of y'all who've been following my channel for years, you know that I am a huge Hooters fan. There's been plethora of videos, footage on this channel pertaining to Hooters, whether it's about Hooters or from Hooters. My first knowledge of Hooters in my life, I'll say I had to go back to the late 90s. Now, I didn't really know too much of Hooters. I knew the place exists. I knew that it was a restaurant. I didn't really know in depth about it. I did know about the commercials around the turn millennium. I think my first grasp of knowing what Hooters as it became now, I would say about 2000, maybe 2001. I think that's when I noticed Hooters is what it is. And then I remember the video game, Hooters Race Something from PlayStation 1 back in 2002. No, I never had the game. I just knew it existed. I heard about it in the PlayStation magazine. So I was like, my God, I like this. So now at the time, did I know there was a Hooters in my city? No. I think my first acknowledgement of Hooters being here in my city was about 2005, I think. 2005, 2006, around that time. Because I think they had just opened up the strip mall. You know, they were just building on it for a while now. This was like 2005, 2006. You know, you had Circuit City. No, not Circuit City. Yeah, Circuit City did move out there. You had that. You know, you had EB Games. You had GameStop, Atlanta Bread, which is no longer because I think they got outdid by Panera Bread. Sears was out there. And this was around the time they opened up the new movie theater too, which, you know, it was Carmike 15, is now called AMC 15. So this is a new thing, you know. So I noticed Hooters out there. So, okay, I need to go to Hooters one day. And then it finally happened, 2008. It was November 8th. That's how I remember. It was November 8th, 2008. I went to Hooters for the first time ever. It was, I went in there, I went and got a soda, and I left out. Well, I didn't really leave out. I just walked out the door. I think the fight was on too. And the Florida game was on. Florida and Vanderbilt. Florida wound up winning 42-14. This was 2008. It was with Tim Tebow and Joe Hayden, Keyston Moore, Jeff Dents, Chris Rainey. You know, when they had the year that Florida won the national title. It was that year. My first memory of Hooters going there was getting the. Now, obviously, I never got any pictures because I did not have a camera phone or a camera, so I couldn't take any pictures. Otherwise, you know, I would have. Y'all know I would. So, never got the picture. So, but I remember I think the fight was on. I remember just watching the fight, and I think I think these two guys was at a table, and I guess it's like, hey, you can come sit at our table if you want to. You know, I sat with them, we chatted, and this was the thing. I remember this one Hooters girl. I guess and I guess the somebody that pissed her off. One of her tables pissed her off. It was some overweight chick. I guess she was making poking fun at Hooters or talking down on Hooters, and she didn't like it. Some of the coworkers had to pull her away, take her to the back, like don't beat this bitch's ass. We don't want you to lose your job over it. So I wound up seeing her shortly after she calmed down. Say, hey, you all right? Just make sure she was good, gave her a hug, say, hey, don't hurt anyone, okay? And that was my first experience at Hooters. So I did get a chance to talk to some of the girls, like, but I never went back after that day. Wish I did, but never happened. Then again, I have yet to have a job yet. This is, like I said, 2008. I was fresh out of high school, so I know. And before y'all say, yeah, I know 15 and 16-year-olds had jobs, just didn't work out for me right off the rip. Some work. Some come faster. It comes faster for some than for others. Apparently, it was a slow road for me before I was able to get my first job. But I did get my first job before I hit 21. Matter of fact, I got my first job before I left my teenage years, so that was that. But back to the story. 2011 was a game changer. That was the year that I started really going to Hooters on a heavy rotation. That's when I really became a regular. That's when I started to get well known from some of the managers, even some of the Hooter girls turned managers. Some of the regulars started to know about A-Fizzle Productions. Like I say, everything started right there. And from that point on, I've been going to Hooters. So you can say I've been a regular for 11 years. And plus, all that time, I said the Playboy mentality. I think it's kind of slowing down a little bit. Well, we shall see. That's the sort of a different day. I had a huge Playboy mentality in my 20s. I wasn't thinking about settling down. I wasn't thinking about getting married. I wasn't thinking about wifing any chick up. I was all about having this Playboy mentality. So, yes, I was going to Hooters a lot. Yes, I was going to certain places that involve sexy females a lot. So, that was my end game. Yes, I still go now, but, things are different, as far as me going now as opposed to me going when I was in my 20s. So, because, my ideologies are different now than they were in my 20s. So, that's another thing. So, yeah, somewhere between August of 2019 and when Hooters reopened up in a lot of places after, once the pandemic really started, I did notice a few changes. And this is where this story begins. This is where the video really begins. So now, when you go to Hooters, what is Hooters mainly known for? First and foremost, Ralph the Rip. Is known for its world famous Hooter girls. That's that's the theme. It's the girls. They're there to entertain. They're there to, I guess, in a way, flirt with you, but not actually flirting with you, especially if they have boyfriends, especially if they have husbands. Or for those who are lesbians, let's have girlfriends or let's have wives. Everybody knows how Hooters is. They flirt for the money. They're not really trying to flirt to be your next girlfriend. Now, for some, there's some people who manage to pull a Hooters girl, and salute to them. I'm not knocking that. If you ever back up a Hooters girl, then hey, more power to you. I know for a lot of people will be asking me like, have you hit on any of the Hooter girls? Have you got their numbers? Have you ever took them out? And this is my thing. If a Hooters girl wants to hook up with me on relationship status, then that's cool and all. But I've always been the type of person that doesn't kiss or tell or fuck and tell, because I feel like it's really none of your business. Like what I do with my private life, what you don't see on social media. I feel like I keep that under wraps, and I feel like some people really get in trouble for that. Not me per se, but like some people, like some parents, I should say, some parents, when their kids get sick, they want to take pictures of their kids at the hospital, or take, oh, look at my sick child, oh, look at my sweet sick child, oh, my sweet injured child, oh, look at my sweet child about to get some braces at the orthodontist. And sometimes I feel like that's too much, like, you know. You can look at it as embarrassing your child, because it kind of is embarrassing. Like, why you gotta, you know, maybe your kids want to have a private life. Maybe they don't want people knowing their entire business. I know you're the parent, they're the child, so they can't really, But sometimes, some people want that. Some people don't want everybody knowing everything about their business, and that's just me. Like when people ask me, like, have I ever ever hooked up with any Hooter girls, or have I, or what do I work at? Like, why y'all need to know all that? Not I'm not gonna open. I'm not an open book. I'm really not. I've never really been an open book. And I tell people like, if you want to know where I work, you got to find me at my job. I'm not gonna just straight up tell you. So that's how I feel about it. So I know, that's why I don't really hang out with coworkers either because of that reason alone. Because you don't, you got someone just they're blabbermouths and they just let good chunk of their business out, and it's like, why'd you have to tell them that? But as I can go ahead and say this. So, far as hooking up with Hooter girls, there has been some pretty ones. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there has been a moment where I haven't found any Hooter girls attractive. There are some that are attractive, damn straight. You see some of my video, they were attractive. Let's be real. But I look at it for what it is. Hooters is a fantasy. It's just like a strip club. What I mean by that is they're fantasy places. It's there to gather you away from reality for as long as you stay. Make you forget about work or family life or bills or stress or anything. That's where Hooters is for me. It's more like a stress reliever with just attractive women and sports and alcohol. So that's how I look at Hooters. Like I said, if it's meant for me to hook up with a Hooters girl, it will happen. And at this point, I don't think I would hook up with a Hooters girl. And it's nothing against them per se. It's because, the girls are just getting younger and younger. Like, for the most part, most of the Hooter girls, you go to a Hooters, most of the girls there on average are between the age of 18 and 24. That's the age. That's predominantly the age range for a bulk of these Hooter girls at certain Hooters restaurants, and I'm sure it's been that way for years. It's usually the age range is usually between 18 and 24. And I never really been the type of person that really rocks the cradle. Now, if it was 10 years ago, then yeah, I probably try to holler at the Hooter girls in, try to hook up because I'd be in that age range. But I'm in my 30s now. I'm not trying to hook up with 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, fresh out of high school. I don't got time to be teaching a chick new things. And, if y'all want to hook up with if these guys want to hook up these young ass chicks coming out of high school, and they around my age, and you guys around my age, that's on you. I'm not knocking you for doing it. I just I just wouldn't do it. It's just I feel like I'm just too old to be for these women. Like hell, you was by the time you was born, I was about to go to high school. That's how I look at it. And by the time you was starting elementary school, about to learn your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and playing with your blocks and all that, I was graduating from high school. Like it would just feel awkward. But as far as the changes, the first the first sign of change that I did see from Hooters was the hairstyles. For those who've been going to Hooters since the 80s, I would say since the 80s, you notice that the girls they wear their hair down. That's always been the thing. There's been some with short hair, whatever. I mean, not in a bad way, like whatever, but like, but the theme was you had to wear it down. You couldn't. You couldn't wear it in the style or whatnot. If it was curly, you can do it curly. That's cool, whatever. But as long as it was styled down. But the main thing that changed is that they let the girls be more free with whatever they want to do with their hair. You started seeing implements of braids, locks. You started seeing girls wear ponytails. You start seeing all these different styles. And me personally, this was the one change. This was a change I was the most in favor of because it gives. I'm I'm on about I'm on about hair. I like to see women do whatever they want to do with their hair, long as it looks good. And that's the thing, with Hooters. As long as it looks good, you can't just come in here and look like what the fuck, like you just walk out of bed. You'll get sent right the fuck home. But I like that rule change. I was in favor of it. That's probably the change I was in most in favor of because I would have liked to see what the women can really do with their hair at Hooters, instead of just wearing it down. Because sometimes the women don't want to wear it down. Sometimes they want to wear it up, and I don't blame them. And then on top of that, you got to remember you're in the food industry as well. As I know some of the Hooter girls they get tired of having their hair in front of them and trying to push it back so that way the food doesn't get in the hair doesn't get in the food because you can't get complaints about that. Like I think that kind of contributed to their rule change because I've heard in the past about people going to Hooters and hairs in the food, and I think a big reason behind that is because the girls have their hairstyle down, so sometimes pieces of hair that's in front of their shoulder sometimes can dip into the foot, especially if you got long hair. I'm not saying you should cut it. I'm just saying like let them get free range or do other things that could prevent that from happening in the future, or at least slow it down on that strength. So I was in favor of that. And some of the girls look good with some of these hairstyles. I like some of the braids, the braid hairstyles, lock hairstyles. It looks good on some of these women. So it's like, I'm glad they get the chance to really do what they do, and rock it big, rock it good. I say rock it big, but all the above. So that was one thing I was in favor of. Another thing I was in favor of was the tattoo thing. I noticed had to piss some chicks off. Like when they had to go to cosmetology. It gets. I don't know makeup too tough. I'm a guy. I'm a straight guy. I don't keep up with makeup. I can't. Honestly, guy, I cannot talk make. You try to give me. If you want to try to give me the conversation about makeup, yeah, good luck with that. Because I don't know all these foundations and all that. Not too many women in my family wear makeup. So that's another thing too. That has a lot to do with it. I have been around females that do wear makeup, and I'm not anti makeup altogether. I'm not saying that, I do like the natural look. Don't get me wrong, but it's nothing wrong with a little touch up here and there. The women feel like they want to feel look good about themselves or feel good about themselves, get a little touch up. I'm cool, that's cool too. As long as it's not overdone, because sometimes women can overdo it on the makeup, then they want to look like a clown. Just saying. Don't want you to look like Bozo, but just enough though. If I have a daughter, would I let her wear makeup? Absolutely. If that's what she wants to do, then I wouldn't be opposed if I have a daughter and she wants to get into makeup. I'm gonna tell her now, I don't expect me to do it because that's not my thing. But if you want to wear makeup, yeah, if you want to wear makeup, then go ahead. Not in elementary school, hell no. Maybe when you get in high school, do it then. But what's the thing about the makeup? Why I'm talking about makeup? Because when it goes back to the tattoos, when if you got tattoos and you work at Hooters, the rule was the tattoos could not be showing because they was trying to go for the Hooters was trying to go for this whole girl next door thing. I guess they're trying to mistake it for Playboy. I don't know, but you think about it, it was some Playboy chicks. It was some Playboy bunnies that had tattoos. So much for the girl next door mentality. So, and I didn't like the fact that these women had to go all the way to buy hundreds and hundreds of dollars of makeup just to cover some tattoos, and I just thought it was stupid. I've just never been a fan of that. Like Beyonce said it, and check on it. If you got it, flaunt it. The women spend hundreds of dollars getting these tattoos because they want to represent themselves and they want to show them off. Why not let them show them off? Now, early on during the beginning of the pandemic, it was still rules about covering tattoos, but store by store, they did start to get more lenient. Like, okay, we're gonna kill the whole tattoo thing. We're not we whole makeup on tattoo thing. So you start to see a shift starting last year, really, where the girls just rock their tattoos, damn makeup, and that really was a game changer, because There are a bunch of women who have a lot of tattoos, especially the sleeve tattoos. And let's be real. Does anyone really want to spend hours and hours trying to cover up a sleeve tattoo? That's a lot of fucking makeup for one. And two, that's just a lot of time. It's just time consuming. It's just a lot of time. So that really changed the dynamics. It was really time consuming. I'm sure the girls were really happy about that, especially the ones who had a lot of tattoos, and especially the ones who had a lot of tattoos on their arm. Just saying. Now, if you had it on the lower part of the body, you can possibly get away with it at the time because you got the stockings to really cover it up. Or if you had like the lower back tattoo, cover it up. Obviously the shirt's going to cover it up. So you didn't have to worry about putting makeup on that. And then you got to realize, like, especially when the girls wear white, you also got to think about it from this perspective too. When a person wears white, it's more easy for them to get stains on them, and sometimes those stains could be very hard to get out. And then you're going back to a point where okay, you got makeup stains on your shirt because you're wearing all this makeup to cover tattoos. If then you can't get it out, then all of a sudden you gotta go spend like $20 or something. I don't know how many, something like that. You gotta spend money to go get a new shirt just for the same. It's just an ongoing cycle that wasn't going to change. So it just really made no sense. But I think that played a part in it too because like I guess the girls got tired of, I guess the management got tired, and even the CEO and all that, they got tired of, of the girls wearing girls going through shirts every other month because they got makeup on it and now they can't get it out. So I just thought that was a good idea removing it. Now, if you want to put it on your face, it's fine. I don't care about that. But it's just coming to tattoos. I just thought it was stupid. So, but yeah, but let's get on to the one change that really really prompt this video: the uniforms. This is where the change really came in at for me. This is where I started to be like, what the fuck? As y'all know, for a long time, if you've been going to Hooters for a long time, like I have, even longer than me, you notice the uniform. It's usually white tank top. I'm gonna take that back. It's usually tank top and short shorts. That's the uniform. I said white tank top, but then again, and this when I was going, I think it was usually white tank tops for the most part. Only time there were the black was when they had a major event. That's the only time they really wore black tank tops. But then again, then after that, for a couple years in, I say like I don't know when this started, but like a couple years. It's like little less than 10 years ago when they really started to change it a little bit with the uniforms. Like on Fridays, you got like on Fridays you'll start to see girls wear black. That was the thing, on Fridays you wear black. They was doing this here on Tuesday for a while too. They was wearing black on Tuesday, but here's the thing about that though. It wasn't like just regular black tank top. It was more so it's camouflage black tank tops because but I don't know about y'all who who have a Hooters in y'all city, but if you're in a city that's I would say within 15, I would say about within 25 minutes away from military base. That's because I'm about 15. Well, in this case, I'm about 10 minutes away from military base. My point is, if you have a Hooters that's close to a military base, like where I'm at, or better yet, like Killeen out there in Texas, is close to Fort Hood, I think. Stuff like that, or maybe Savannah that's close to Fort Stewart, and Fayetteville is close to Fort Bragg. Places like that. You might notice if you go on Tuesdays early on. This they don't do this anymore, but when you would go on Tuesdays, they had like the camouflage black tank tops, whereas on the back it wouldn't say Hooters make you happy or delightfully tacky yet unrefined, it will say, we salute our troops. It was only for a little while. Then they kind of stopped doing that, and they went back to wearing white. And I think on top of that, like I think I was starting to hear something about them doing Two Step Tuesdays. Tell me that one time I go to Hooters on a Tuesday. Rephrase that. Tell me once. Tell me that when I would go to Hooters on Tuesday, I only seen it one time. It was like I only seen it one time. It was only one girl when participating in Two Step Tuesdays. I even asked around. I was like, I asked some managers at certain stores like, "Do y'all do Two Step Tuesdays?" We do it. How can I come up here on Tuesdays? I didn't ask him this part, but you know what I'm thinking. How come when I come up here on Tuesdays, I don't see that. I don't see the girls going in like Two Step Tuesdays, right? You know, so I think that's going to be, I guess it's more of a Texas thing because it did start off in Texas before it expanded elsewhere. But I'm honestly, God, I just don't see the whole two step thing lasting too much longer because there's not too many girls participating outside of Texas. So, for what I be seeing on Instagram. So, but yeah, if you've been going to Hooters for a long time, you notice that tank tops and orange shorts, short shorts, whatever was the theme. And I think they did the camouflage shorts on Tuesdays as well when they did the whole "We Salute Our Troops" thing. So I started noticing this towards the end of 2019 when they implemented the regular Hooters shirts with the sleeves in it, even the long sleeves. And I'm gonna get into that momentarily because everything's about to add up. So I started seeing that on at certain locations. It wasn't happening here yet in 2019. And then the pandemic, like I said, 2020, didn't really see it. And pandemic happens. I don't go to Hooters for a couple months. I don't really go anywhere for a couple months because of the pandemic. So when I started start slowly getting back out there, still wasn't doing it. You still wasn't seeing the whole sleeve thing. I think most of those changes that happened at most Hooters wasn't really happening there at the Hooters in my city quite yet. They really start to really kick in about the hair thing, yes, but that was already happening. But I say about August or September, right close to football season 2020. That's when I started to see the changes. I started to see the regular shirts coming into play. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Now, I guess you could say it is a long time coming because there's been talks for a couple of years, and even longer than that. You got people in an uproar about Hooters and what it stands for. And I know I said Hooters is kind of like a strip club when it comes to like fantasy. This is the flip side of that when people try to compare Hooters to a strip club in a way because of the uniforms. Like, oh, it's showing too much skin. It's like a strip club. I would never let let my kids go to Hooters. Or, you got feminist ass girlfriends. I would never let my boyfriend or my husband go to Hooters with those scantily clad dressed females. Now I have did a video about this in the past when it came to Hooters about this situation right here because and here we go. Here's the thing. When it comes to stuff like that, this is where I feel like I'm have to defend Hooters on this note. Hooters is what it is for a reason. That's what they built their name off of. Just like the Wing House, similar setup to the Hooters. They built their reputation off tank tops and short shorts. This is who they were. This is who they're going to be. So when y'all complain about the uniforms and stuff, nobody is yanking you by the arm and forcing you to go inside of Hooters. You don't have to go to Hooters. If that bothers you so much that they're showing X amount of skin, you can always go to other restaurants where You got girls that wearing button up black shirts, long sleeves, and black pant and long pants and black shoes, covering most of their body. You can go to those type of restaurants. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody. I just thought it was stupid. Like that Hooters were and oh, before I get to that part, but like, and people's like, oh, it's like a strip club. It is not a damn strip club. Like, and I said this in a video when I talked about this topic about people about the uniforms. You're not going to go into Hooters and see Hooter girls get on top of a bar like it's Coyote Ugly and start taking off their uniform, showing their titties and their ass and their pussy, and just start dancing all over the damn pole. You're not going to go in there and see that. Hooters is always been a family friendly restaurant. Kids are allowed there because they got crayons and stuff. I got another Hooters video when they said about crayons and stuff. But like they got crayons and stuff. They got coloring activities for kids. Kids are allowed at Hooters. Maybe with adult supervision. Now I'm just saying. I you know I just found it stupid that they let modern PC America really control how Hooters goes because like after that, that's when Hooters really started implementing a lot of these changes. Like that's when they started to go with the whole adding the regular shirts and the sleeves and all that to the mix. And I'm gonna be honest, as a longtime Hooters fan, I don't like it. I honestly do not. And don't come in the comments talking about, oh, you're a pervert. It's not about being a pervert or being thirsty or anything. That's not what I'm going with this. I'm the if I could talk. The route I'm going with this, with the whole uniform thing, is that this is what Hooters represents. This is their tradition. This is who they are. And when you add in the sleeves and stuff, like the long sleeves and the short sleeves, it takes away from tradition. And I'm a person that values tradition. I really do. So like when these changes do kind of make a difference, like a big difference into a restaurant or a business, I do frown on that. Now, granted, I'm not the CEO of these businesses, so I don't make the decisions. But as a long time supporter of these restaurants, or these businesses, this is what I'm used to. And then as you take things away, that value tradition, it tampers with it because you have some diehard regulars who will go to Hooters because of the uniforms alone. Let's keep it thorough. That's not. I'm not gonna bullshit. I'm not gonna bullshit y'all. We all know this. So when you add in the sleeves, like the long sleeves and the short sleeves, like where's the tank tops at? It does get to a point like this is what it is. They trying to clean up my Hooters. They trying to make Hooters look like Olive Garden or some shit like that. Are you serious? It does turn. It can turn. I'm sure it's turned long time regulars off. Like this is who you are. So it's like, why do they keep coming to Hooters? If this is what it's going to be, why keep coming? I can take my business, I can take my money and go elsewhere where, where the similar theme is going on, but it's not at Hooters. So, like I said, I'm not a fan of it. I'm sure there's some girls who like the whole sleeve sayings. I mean, shirts with the short sleeves and long sleeves. I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm about certain it's not going to last forever. I think they go back to the tank tops only full time. I don't know when, but I feel like it's going to happen soon. So, because I'm sure not a lot of longtime Hooter fans are fans of the new uniforms nowadays. I'm gonna get into the shorts in a minute because I know some girls have had some. issues about those. But I was drawing a brain for. I don't even remember what I was about to say. But I know, yeah, about the sleeves and stuff. Like, okay, yeah, I do remember now. Okay, I understand to an extent. I guess I understand why they did that because you do have moments where the girls be complaining about it's too cold, it's too cold, I'm cold. So I to the extent of that I can understand. And my argument is like, if you're cold, go get a jacket. I guess they don't want them to wear jackets in the building anymore. I don't know. I just find that whole change very stupid. You know, I'd rather than wear the Hooters jackets if they're cold than go that route. I don't know. It just that's kind of how I look at it. It's just me that maybe some people look at it different than I do. That's fine. Some people may prefer the sleeves over the tank tops. That's fine. I'm not knocking you for thinking that way, but it just like I said, it took a little bit out of the tradition for Hooters when you do that, and I feel like Hooters is kind of falling off a little bit. Not only because of the uniforms, I think that played a part in it. And don't and no, it's not because of the price. Don't get me wrong. It has so I don't want anything about they went up on their prices. You see where the economy's at nowadays? Why do you think gas prices went up? Why do you think cost of living is going up? So it got nothing to do with they jacking their prices up. Oh, it used to be the wings used to be $10, now at 13. Don't be a cheap ass. Don't. So, and Hooters trying to keep up with the Joneses, they have no choice but to go up with their prices. So I'm not gonna knock them from that for that. It's like if it's getting too expensive, you go out, stay your ass home. Nobody's forcing you to nobody's forcing you to go out. But yeah, I think, it just but I will say that the quality of food has kind of went down a little bit. You know, Hooters food used to be really good. And I can't say I went there for the food, honestly. I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna flex you there. The wings were pretty good, but it's just like some of the food items are not as good as they once was. You seen the wing sizes at Hooters when you eat the wing? They're not as big anymore. They're not that big anymore. So it's like that's another thing they're losing their appeal on. Like not to, it's the quality of food isn't as great. And then when you take away some of the fan favorite items, that doesn't help either. I was a big fan of us on the buffalo chicken dip. That's no longer on the menu. I think they had the smoked wings for a little while. I haven't really seen them on the menu too tough nowadays, so I don't know. They still do the. I mean, not on the menu. I haven't seen too many people get smoked wings nowadays. So I don't know if they still do those or not. So some of the popular things like the buffalo chicken dip, like the smoked wings, you're not seeing them too often, and it kind of takes away from Hooters. Like it's like quality of food is going down. Now another thing I do want to see them change. Me one thing I one thing I was kind of feeling a little bit was the Unreal Wings. You know, 'cause I think they were not. I think they was made out of veggies or something or plants or something like that. I thought those were pretty good. So I was kind of disappointed they didn't take those off the menu. I was a fan of the Unreal Wings, but I get it was only a limited time, so I wasn't. I am disappointed. I'm not. I do expect it. So, but yeah, yeah, Hooters just kind of went down a little bit. Now, as far as the one thing I did like, one thing I do like about Hooters today, there's not too much as I like about Hooters today as opposed to last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. You know, it's like when you go on Saturday or Sunday during the fall when it's game day. They do let the girls dress up in sports attire. Rep their favorite sports teams. I big fan of that. Because some of the girls actually like sports, and they will talk sports with you. regardless of football, baseball, basketball, if they're into those sports and they know that you're into it, they will talk sports with you. And they will trash talk too. Some will trash talk you if if you bought that trash talk light. So you better be if you get into if you get into those realms with a Hooters girl that's heavy into sports and is not afraid to trash talk, you better be ready. You better be on point because you don't want to get embarrassed. You don't want to get out shit talked by a Hooters girl. That's not saying it's a bad thing, but it won't be a good thing either. Though. So I think, and one thing that I did see a change this year because you usually could do this last couple of years. It didn't really matter if it's college or NFL. You can rock either one on Saturday or Sunday. It didn't really matter. But I know this year they kind of changed it up a little bit. Where on Saturday, you basically had to go college. You had to go college. Um, you had to go to college route only. And then on Sundays you had to go NFL route only. So you can't wear college football apparel on Sunday. You can't wear NFL apparel on Saturday. You can't do that. So it's college on Saturday, NFL on Sunday. So I always like that. It kind of makes the girls look festive. Makes and I also like what they doing for October. With the whole breast cancer thing. They don't do it here. I wish they did though. But I know down in South Florida, you go to Hooters down there, they'll have like specialized pink Hooter shirts in honor of breast cancer. So I thought that was pretty neat. Just kind of get a little festive. Hooters isn't afraid to get festive when the call card comes for it. Sometimes they'll let depends what store you at. They'll let the girls wear something green for St. Patrick's Day. Um, I don't think they let them do anything on Valentine's Day. I know they got the whole Stretcher X thing. I don't think they do anything on New Year's. I'm not 100% sure because I've never really been on New Year's Eve, so I can't really tell you. I don't think they do anything on New Year's. I know let's wear green on St. Patrick's Day. Depends what Hooters you go to in October. You can adjust for breast cancer. I know they do fundraising stuff for breast cancer, like the calendars and bracelets and diamond cards and all that. So, and some of the drinks like the Pink Passion, I would try if they did not have damn coconut in it. So, I don't like coconut, so I guess I never tried it. And I think they do something around Christmas. I I think some Hooters will have like a special uniform for Christmas as well, and they'll let the girls wear their Santa hats or whatnot. I think not, or yeah, dress up sort of Christmas like. So I have seen that as well. So I can't really fault them. So they are trying, but I just feel like Hooters is declining a little bit. It's still going to be a successful restaurant. They're not going to officially fall off the map and be officially forgotten, but they have fallen off a little bit. The restaurant that has been very dominant for years. Like when you think about, other restaurants in those realms, like or I would say those restaurants of that magnitude, because a lot of these are not restaurants. Like Tilted Kill and Heart Attack Grill, which I guess is a restaurant. I don't know. I don't know if I would consider Heart Attack Grill as one. I know Tilted Kill in a way is not one. It's more so like a skirt thing. There was another one too. I'm not going to talk about the other one until later on in this video, but I think it's one more out there. It's kind of like in the same ordeal, but Hooters has had the reins over all these restaurants. Any restaurant list as a restaurant, Hooters was king. They were kings in the 80s, the 90s, the double zeros, and most of the 2000s. No one was fucking with them. Like people were trying to emulate Wing House. That's what I was thinking about. Wing House. Goddamn. Yeah, Wing House too. Like even like Wing House and the breast Heart Attack Grills and all that. they would try to look at Hooters and see what they need to do to switch up their game and try to match them. And excuse me. And then, but they can't. Hooters is on top, but Hooters has fallen off a little bit. No, not on, like I said, not on hard times, but they've fallen off significantly. Like I said the uniforms didn't help. The whole adding the sleeves and stuff because Hooters K did to PC America. Oh, it's too sexualized. Even though Hooters built their name off that. If I was up there in that front office of Hooters, and they say, "Oh, they're desexualizing Hooters," not desexualizing, sexualizing Hooters. It's too sexual. I'm like, "Fuck you, kiss my ass." This is what we are, and this is what we gonna be for forever and ever and ever. If you don't like the fact that the girls are wearing tank tops and short shorts, go find you another restaurant. This is what the standard is. Not you or any of y'all bastard ass PC motherfuckers gonna do a damn thing about it to change it. Unless you kill well, let me not speak that up. Like unless you kill me, but no, I'm not gonna get that satisfaction. Go get out another restaurant. You don't like if their uniforms bother you that fucking much, stop coming. You don't gotta come. We're better off without your money anyway. You probably one of those cheap motherfuckers who just drink PBR and shit and probably not and probably spend like $200 worth of fucking entrees and shit and not tip a damn thing. That's the part and just want to go pick up fights with the Hooters girls about the damn uniforms. Those are the type of people you are. Who are you fooling? But I'm not the CEO of Hooters, so it is what it is. So they caved in and they made the changes, and that's the worst mistake they could have done. Like I said, if the girls get cold, you could at least kept the let them keep the jackets in the wintertime. Or better yet, there's another thing they could do too, because I see certain other sports bars and dive bars do this. I think the Hooters here did it 1 year, but there's another thing that Hooters can do. Like during the wintertime, and this is a great idea. In the wintertime, because it does get cold here in the wintertime. Sometimes temperatures drop in the 30s and even in the 20s. Maybe the teens like 10 days out of the year, but it'll get dropped into the 20s at night. So that means it'll probably be in the 40s during the daytime, so you may get a little breeze, which could be cold enough for the girls to be like, they'll start shaking and shivering. But what I would do is, if Hooters have a patio, I know this one has one. I know all the Hooters in Birmingham have a patio. Um, Gwinnett has a patio. I'm trying to think who else. I'm trying to think who else has a patio. Oh, Madonna has a patio. Um, some of the some of the Hooters like that. Douglasville has one. Ones who have patios, you can put like plastic foil, plastic foil around the outside around the patio. They keep that cold air for shooing in. That way the girls don't get cold. They won't feel that cold air swooping in. I thought that was a grand idea, and I feel like if that's the case, they could have done that. If they don't want to do that, then at least tell the girls, hey, if y'all get cold, bring your jackets, your Hooters jackets. You can wear those. You can wear those if you got an outside table. Things to help them keep warm. So I think it's more so like I think I can understand why they implemented the sleeves because of the wintertime. But I feel like the real reason why they implemented the sleeves is because the PC America reserve thing, don't they? And and they want, they trying to make it desexualize it to the point where they can go. And guess what? They ass still don't go to Hooters. So that's wasting their voice. But it's a damn shame, man. Hooters, who once was the king of restaurants, the restaurant that other restaurants look up to. I always refer to Winghouse as his cousin because they mirror images of each other. The only difference is Winghouse is based out of hell. Winghouse is based out of Florida. Guess what's based out of Florida? Hooters. I don't know how long Winghouse been around, but they've been around for some years now, at least about over 10 years. Why the fuck have they not expanded out of Florida yet? Why we don't have one in Georgia? I want to go to a wing house. Do I gotta drive down on Gainesville or something like that to go to a wing house? Come on now, wing house. Expand your horizons. You can stay in Florida, but let's get some in Georgia. Let's get some in Alabama. Let's spread that thing around the world like Hooters is. Follow the template. You're supposed to have been done that. We're supposed to already have a wing house right now. And this is why wing house is losing. This is why they're third place right now. Because they're afraid to get out of Florida. But Hooters, they were the gold standard where everybody used to look up to. Even wing house implemented. But these changes has really fucked them over the last 2 or 3 years. Like I said, the uniforms and the quality. It just fucked them. If it's fucked them so much, it's gotten to a point to now Twin Peaks has passed them up. Just like the Wing House, just like Heart Attack Grill, just like Tilted Kilt, and just like any other restaurant out there, Ojos Locos, all these other restaurants out there, Twin Peaks was in the same boat as them. They were the hunter. They was going after Hooters. They wanted to take Hooters down. And Twin Peaks has only been around for a couple of years. I think my first implementation of Twin Peaks was like 10 years ago. I think they had been around. I think they had just been around only a few years by the time I first heard about them back in 2011 or 12. But these changes they have placed in for Hooters and made Hooters fell off a little bit. They allowed Twin Peaks to capitalize on Hooters falling down for them to pass them up. And that's right. Twin Peaks has passed up Hooters. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't want to hear any debates from anybody that's who's down with Hooters. I'm down with Hooters too, but like I said, I'm going to tell the truth about it. I'm not going to sit here and lie or say what you want to hear to make you feel better. This is not a protect your feelings channel. This is keeping it honest and thorough channel. That's how we do around these quarters. Twin Peaks has passed Hooters up. They have. And Twin Peaks, they just got into town in February, going into March. And yeah, in the Twin Peaks here, they got to a rough start. Hooters was kind of dominating a little bit. They had to get their systems implemented, but once they did, pass them up. And this is further proof. I went there last Monday for Monday Night Football. How about I pull up at Hooters and there's basically no customer in there. None. And this is around the 9 o'clock. No customer. They already sent the girls home. Did you want to know why? They're all at Twin Peaks. That's where it's at now. Twin Peaks has passed up Hooters, and they're just slowly distancing themselves away from Hooters and the rest of the pack. They're now the gold standard when it comes to restaurants. And add fuel to the fire. Because Twin Peaks, I'm sure they face scrutiny too with their uniforms. I'm sure they do. You don't see them changing up. And also they do lingerie Friday. Well, not really lingerie Fridays, but they do it kind of like it is lingerie Friday. Like Bourbon and Brew saying they do that here on Fridays. They let the girls dress up in lingerie. Guess what the fuck happened shortly after that? Once Twin Peaks started doing that. Hooters is now chasing them. Now they gotta find a way to keep up with Twin Peaks. So Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. Guess what Hooters does? Now they want to do a swimsuit thing. Now obviously, Hooters, they got the calendar. So that's the only thing they got over Twin Peaks right now. That's the only thing Hooters has over Twin Peaks right now, is that they do a calendar. A swimsuit edition. Don't fuck around and let Twin Peaks do a calendar. Oh boy, If Twin Peaks does a calendar, it's a wrap for Hooters. It's over. It will be no more competition. Twin Peaks will be so far ahead of Hooters. Hooters had to hope for Twin Peaks to crash and burn for them to even catch up again. They still got a chance to make some changes and get back on top. But right now, they better pray that Twin Peaks don't come up with a calendar. I'll tell you now. There you got swimsuit competition. So it's neck and neck. I'll give them that. But I'm just saying, not looking good. So yeah, when you got to implement, like when you was the king of restaurants, you got to a point where your competition that's been underneath you for a minute or so, now found the opening lane to pass you up, and now you're at a point where you got to implement them to try to stay trying to stay in the game. That's not a good look for Hooters as far as the future. It popped for a minute, like Memorial Day. It popped for a minute. 4th of July, it popped, but Labor Day, I went to Hooters around Labor Day. I didn't see any. Last time I checked, oh, did I go to Hooters around Labor Day? I'm trying to remember. Did I go to Hooters? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I didn't see any swimsuits going on Labor Day. That was short lived. So it goes to show that Hooters is not competing with Twin Peaks right now. They're not. Now, get back. I also got to add this little point. Get back to the Hooters shorts. Now, as far as the Hooters shorts, this is what I don't understand. It's like you caught fire a couple years ago, back in 2017, about how the uniform looks. With the tank top and short shorts. How do you respond to that? By laying down, letting these PC motherfuckers get in your head and add the sleeves to them. That's the real reason why the sleeves are implemented today, like the short sleeve Hooter shirts and the long sleeve Hooter shirts. That's why I said I can understand them doing it if for weather purposes, but outside of that, you really had no valid reason to change the uniform. None. But yet, around this time last year, you made the shorts shorter. They look like draws now. Granny draws. So you add sleeves to the arms, and you take away you take away. Okay, how can I put this? You cover up the skin on the arm, but you add more skin to see on the legs. That is so fucking backwards. If you're gonna take the shorts and make them shorter and make them like granny draws, you might well just say, you know what? We're gonna go the whole 9 yards. We're gonna go back to where it was. Y'all will not be wearing the short sleeves, long sleeves, Hooter shirts again. You're gonna wear tank tops only. That's it. Bottom line. If you get cold, bring a Hooters jacket. You can wear that. That's only fair. That's only right. Because if you're gonna take away that, why did you change the shorts? That makes no sense. I'm not, granted, some of the girls' ass cheeks look better. That's not where I'm going with this. So I'm just going like, don't be on that backwards ass shit. Don't implement this change, then go backwards on another change. That just really made no sense to me. That's how I looked at it. Like, I just saw it was just too much. Like too much change and something, it's just something that's just really questionable. Obviously, a lot of the Hooter girls that weren't fond of the change, and I can understand. Well, I can, but I can't. I can't understand on the simple fact that I've never been a woman, so I don't know how it feels to receive compliments about my body in a woman's point of view. But I can understand it's like some women don't feel comfortable showing their ass cheeks like that. It's like, hey, we don't work at a strip club, we don't work at a sexy bar, we don't work at a bikini clad joint. What the fuck, yo? So I guess I can understand, but from that perspective as well. I mean, from that perspective only, though. So yeah, I just thought that was a stupid change. However, I will give Hooters credit on one thing, as far as changes today. And this has kind of been a staple for a minute, but I think this is kind of like a change that's going to dissolve in for a while now. The Hooters jersey type shirts. I'm sure some of y'all have seen them. If you went to Hooters, you definitely have seen them. Like they like jersey shirts. They like jerseys, but they're Hooters shirts. I don't mind that. Here's a curse though. Here's a curse though. Here's a curse to that. Excuse me. My thing about that is that it looks footballish, so it'll make sense to wear in the fall and wintertime during football season. However, it doesn't necessarily make sense to wear them when it's not football season, and it doesn't make it doesn't seem necessary to wear them on a Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, Tuesday, Wednesday. You go to Hooters on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and there's really no football game going on of significance. Why are the girls wearing those jersey type shirts? It makes no sense. That's the only thing I would just kind of frown on with the jerseys. Thursdays, I can understand Thursday night football. Fridays, I can understand because there are some college football games that are on a Friday. And plus, high school football is going on a Friday because sometimes they do air high school football games on TV. Obviously, Saturday and Sunday, I got no problem with that because college football Saturday, NFL on Sunday. Even on Mondays, you got no problem on Mondays. Monday Night Football. So just Tuesdays, Wednesdays just don't make sense. But hey, like I said, I'm not the CEO, so I don't make these rules. I'm just giving my opinion, my straightforward opinion. But yeah, I just thought that was really unnecessary to make the change with the shorts like that. And I said, it was nothing wrong with the shorts I had. I'm just gonna be honest. They're just the right length. It has enough sex appeal to show off the legs, and it's still, and the girls seem, comfortable with them. That's just how it is. I'm not gonna be like, well, if you don't like the shorts, go find somewhere else to work. No, that's kind of unfair. I'm gonna be honest, because the girls didn't ask for this. You already got PC America on your ass, and you make the shorts shorter. That's not a good look. And that's another reason why Twin Peaks passed you up because you implementing changes that are not necessary. In Twin Peaks, what type of changes they had to implement? None. Straightforward. That's how they is. Twin Peaks hasn't had to change a damn thing yet, and they're kicking your ass, and they're ahead of you. It's the reason why they're ahead of you. It's the reason why they had to go standard. And plus, the quality of food is better too. Let's just be real. The quality of food is better. You get more options with Twin Peaks than you do with Hooters. Just saying. You can't go to Hooters and get a prime. I would say the prime real estate. I wish you can go to Hooters and get a prime real estate. But no, you can't go to Hooters and get a chicken fried steak. You can't. They'll look at you like, the fuck you get a chicken fried steak from? You can't get that here at Hooters. So yeah, that plays a huge part in it too. As far as how I'm trying to get words. That plays a huge part why Twin Peaks passed at Hooters because the food quality is better, the atmosphere is better, the beer is about the same. I'm not gonna, you get about the same. Beer's about the same. It's cold at both places, so that's a wash. The alcohol, I would say, not the liquor. I'll say it's a wash too. So because like some of the stuff you can get at Twin Peaks, you can get at Hooters, and vice versa. So, but yeah, the atmosphere is better, the food is better, and just the standard is better right now. This is who they are. It's like college football with Alabama and Georgia. Alabama was standard in the SEC in college football. They were definitely standard in the SEC for years. But now it's got to the point where things have changed in Alabama that they're not looking like the Alabama of old. You allow Georgia, who's been under your neck for years, to pass you up in the SEC and pass you up in the national rankings. Not national rankings, but like national conversation. There's a reason why Georgia beat Alabama in the national title last season, whatever. They're the gold standard now. It's not Alabama anymore. Georgia is the Twin Peaks. Alabama is the Hooters. So that's how I look at it. But it also goes to show Like they all say, even Rich Boy made a song about this in '07. Good things don't last forever. You know, you can be on top as long as you want, but you slip up, it's all somebody's on your heels that's been under your shadow for all this time, just waiting to pass you up. And once that happens, you no longer become the gold standard. You're no longer the it factor. You know, you got you're not chasing the gold standard now. And like I said, can Hooters get back to where it was? Can they regain the gold standard? Of course they can. A lot of that's going to have to come back. A lot of that will have to revert to them going back to the old ways. I'm not saying go to like going back to the tank tops only, improve the food quality, regain that atmosphere. You got Hooters has the atmosphere, but it kind of lost its luster a little bit with the changes in the front of the office. You know, you go back to kind of how it was, you can get those people back for Twin Peaks easily. You can get those people back. You can. They'll come crawling back to you. You eat because you still gonna have your regulars. You still gonna have your regulars. They yeah they go to Twin Peaks, but they still come fuck with you. So it's not like of course you're gonna have some regulars. It's like I don't like these changes, so I'm not gonna come back anymore. And they go to Twin Peaks now. But you got someone that's like, well, I don't like the changes, but this is my home. This is always my home. I always like going to Hooters. I'm gonna kids, I'm gonna fuck with Twin Peaks, but I'm also gonna keep going to Hooters too. So you're gonna have those regulars who will bounce back and forth. And Hooter girls, listen up when I tell you this. Don't you ever, don't you ever in the ever of evers call any of your regulars traitors because they want to go to Twin Peaks. It's their life. It's their money. If they want to go to Twin Peaks, it's a God-given right to go to Twin Peaks. It's just like with Ja Rule's in prison, and people in prison will tell him that they'll fuck with his music and not 50 cents. Ja Rule's like, it's all good. You can bump my shit and bump his shit. I'm not gonna say don't ever bump 50 shit. And that's how it should be. Like, hey, you can go to Twin Peaks. It is what it is. You know, as long as you still fuck with us, we good. As long as you fuck with us, we good. As long as you come see us, we are good. We're Gucci. We got no problem you go to Twin Peaks. Hell, even some of your coworkers go to Twin Peaks. So I don't want to hear that shit about trade. No girls call me a traitor yet, but they better not either. But there's room for both. It's room for both. And me personally, I'm glad Twin Peaks is here in town. I'm glad. I'm a competitive person. I walk in the competition. About this time last year, I made a video. Twin Peaks versus Hooters. Let the competition begin. And now it's here. And some of y'all Hooter girls, not even just here, but anywhere that has a Twin Peaks nearby, if you don't like the fact that Twin Peaks is ahead of you and you get mad at regulars for going to Twin Peaks, blame your headquarters, blame the upper echelon, blame the front office. It's their fault why they choose. It's their fault why they choose the Twin Peaks over you. It's not the regulars' fault. It's the front office. They did this. They put you in a hole where people rather go to Twin Peaks over Hooters. It's any city, not just my city. This happens in any city. This happens in Atlanta. This happens in Florida. Let's be real. And for those cities who have a Hooters and not Twin Peaks, consider yourselves lucky right now. Because for some, y'all, Hooters is all they have. Because if Twin Peaks comes in your city, it's gonna be no different from how it is here. It's gonna be no different how it is in Atlanta. It's gonna be no different how it is in Florida. It's gonna be the same ordeal. And there's not a damn thing anyone from Hooters is gonna do about it. You haven't lost. This competition's not over. I'm telling you now, you better hope to God Twin Peaks does not get a calendar. Because if they do, it's a wrap, kid. It's over. Capiche. Competition over. You'll never catch Twin Peaks again. The only hope after that is just hope they shut down. There's the only way to be able to regain your spot. You better hope Winghouse don't pass you up either. Because you fall to third place. Yeah. I can start seeing some Hooters getting shut down. I don't want to shut down. I don't. But these are facts. In facts need to be spoken. Just saying. But yeah, I think that's all I need to cover. I think I said everything that need to be said. I know it's a really long ass video, but this has been pent up in me for almost 2 years. I felt that I needed to do this video, and I'm glad I did it. Yeah, I said what need to be said. I hope I'm not saying this to offend any Hooters girls. I don't care about offending people. Don't get it twisted. I don't care about offending people. I don't care about pissing people off. I don't care about hurt people's feelings. But I'm not saying this in intention to offend any Hooter girls. I'm not placing this on any of y'all. Y'all got nothing to do with these changes. Y'all just abide by them because you're employees there. You got nothing to do with it. So I'm not taking it on y'all. Y'all probably the best damn thing about Hooters. Let's be real. The best thing about Hooters is the girls. And I'll go to my grave saying that shit. So I'm going to defend the girls on that one. The best thing about Hooters is the girls. So anybody say different, you need to go to a different Hooters. Because I'm telling you, that's the best thing about them. They're the reason why Hooters is staying afloat now. So I'm not here to offend y'all, Hooter girls. If you watch this video, I'm not saying this to offend y'all. I'm not saying this to piss y'all off. I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings. If you get offended, I don't know what to tell you. If your feelings get hurt on this video, I don't know what to tell you. If you get pissed off, I don't know what to tell you. It's just me spitting my facts and my opinions from a perspective of a Hooters regular. And trust me, you're not the only ones who get videos like this. I have spoken facts on plenty of topics in the 15 years I've been on YouTube, in the 14 years I've been making videos. So y'all know different. Anybody can get in on this channel. Hell, I even gave the Falcons a business. So if I can get the Falcons a business, I can get Hooters a business. So no different. But yeah, but y'all keep making me happy, Hooters. I'll still come to y'all. I'm not done with Hooters. I'll never be done with Hooters unless I get married, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I'm not married. I'm not in a relationship, so I'll still come to y'all. Y'all still make me happy. I enjoy going to Hooters. I enjoy the girls. The girls are amazing. That's a given. I can't say I really had a real bad experience. I had some experiences that were not so good. I would be lying if I came up here and say that every experience is good. No, every experience has not been good. But for the most part, yeah, the experience has been good. I've never had an issue at Hooters. Um, Management always been nice to me. Whichever Hooters I go to, I never had any issues with management. You know, of course you're gonna have some that may question like I'll be there for like let's say I get there about 12 noon and watch the 12 noon games on Saturday. It's like 4 o'clock. They get ready to go. The new management come in like they might see me like, damn, you still here? And also, there's another thing I did want to say. Speaking on that, management and Hooter girls, don't ever if you see a regular or a person, more so a regular because regulars more so gonna do this. If they come in and they like 12 noon and there's 4 o'clock and they still here, don't ever question are they still here. Be appreciative. Be appreciative that they are there because they could be anywhere else spending money. They can go to Twin Peaks. They can go to Longhorn. They can go to Olive Garden. They can go to Longhorn. They can go to trying to think. They can go to Carrabba's, wherever. TGI Fridays. They can go to their local dive bar. They can go to a local sports bar. They can go to their downtown scene because not too many of y'all got a Hooters in your downtown section. I know Atlanta does. I think Nashville does. I think Long Beach does as well. But most of y'all, you do not have a Hooters in your downtown scene. And those people can go to the downtown scene and go to those bars there and spend money. But they here with you. They chose to come to Hooters. They chose to give you their attention. They chose to spend money with you. So instead of asking for, are you still here? If they be here for a long time, just appreciate their money. I mean, appreciate their money. Appreciate their business. Like Okay, let me say this right. But they chose to be here with you. So just appreciate their patronage. Appreciate them being here, spending money with you, spending time with y'all, you know, conversing with y'all, watching their game, having a good time, not starting any trouble, not starting any fights with anyone, not finding ways to get banned. Just enjoy that. Instead of asking, and look at it like this. If they want to spend all this time with y'all and spend money at your establishment, let them. That's more money in your pocket. That's good for business, especially if they're spending money. Not gonna understand they sitting there for like 12 to 4 and 5 or 12 to 7 watching all the football games and not spending any money. Like they're just getting water and that's it. Or maybe they might get like a small meal, but that's it. That's understandable. But like, goddamn, you here and you're not spending any money? Then I can understand you questioning that. But if they're spending all this money and just like they tax like $100 some odd and they're putting money in your pockets in your business, don't question that. Just don't. I'm glad I brought the management because I almost forgot about that too. But yeah, Hooters makes me happy. Does it make you? And I think that is going to do it. I think I covered everything I know I need to cover. If I missed anything that y'all want me to talk about, feel free to ask me in the comment section my thoughts on certain things I may have missed. You know, well, feel free because I'm gonna make this a premiere, so feel free in the premiere to ask these questions. So, but I think I covered everything from head to toe. Obviously, I did not cover the kitchen. I don't work in the kitchen industry, and I'm not allowed back there, so I can't speak on that part. So, but I think everything else, I think I've covered. So we're gonna get up out of here. So y'all be easy. I appreciate everyone who's watched this entire video. I know it's long as fuck, but like I said, it's almost 2 years in the damn making. It needed to be said. So till next time, A-Fizzle signing out. I'll at y'all later. Will there be any Hooters videos in the future? Likewise, but don't quote me on it. Just don't. Now holla at y'all later.